Welcome everybody to Talkin Geek Season 3, Episode 2. I am your host, Aaron, with the infamous Robert.
Infamous?
I'm going to use infamous today.
Infamous, more than famous. That's the Three Amigos line. There you go.
He got it. So, guys, I hope you all are doing great. I know some of us are still stuck with COVID and hiding out and everything, so hope you're enjoying this and hope we can keep you entertained. So, on today's show, though, you know, we got a lot, I think, going on, but
there is a lot going on in the world. Some of it's geek, some of it's not.
Some of it's just there. And some of it we just we hide and under rock and just
right. So hopefully, you know, if you're looking for a distraction during this time, hopefully we can provide that to you.
Exactly, as well as educate you on some geek news.
Yeah, I mean, we want to have a little bit of fun. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and it can be hard. And sometimes you just need to be able to take your mind off it for a little bit.
Exactly.
So hopefully, if that's what you're looking to do, we can do that for you.
Exactly. So today, on today's show, guys, we have top videos from around the net, from the net. I'm sorry. We got Geek World today, Take My Money, and videos that will be coming out this week that you should go check out.
Woo.
And hopefully you guys will. So check all of those out today and enjoy us, guys. Okay, guys, so our first segment, like I said, is top videos from the net.
Woo.
So this is a segment where we each picked a video that we thought was funny or just anything in general that we thought you'd want us to check out and see. Yeah. So there's a few of them. So the first one I want to say, I'll start off with mine, which is Call of Duty.
Yep.
It's a big game, Modern Warfare, if you haven't played it, Warzone. They have a bunch of different map types that you can play and check out. You've heard of it?
I have.
Have you played it?
I've watched other people play it.
I mean, I guess as long as he watched us play it, you know, that works. So this was just kind of like an epic fail, essentially. So check it out, guys.
Yeah, I watched it. It was pretty funny.
I thought it was hilarious. So check it out now.
Here we go! Stop it. He knows him. You know him. You know him in real life. Stop playing. What was that noise? Stop playing! What? Huh? What's that?
Okay, so again, I love that video. I thought it was hilarious. I hope you all enjoyed that little like clip from it. You know, definitely go check out the full video.
I feel like I would be all of the other characters, like the non-point of view character. That's me if I played that game.
Yeah, you're just like, what's going on, guys? What?
What's happening? I don't know. What's that noise? I don't know what's happening. And now I'm dead.
And that would be him. So, see, the thing is, she's not on mic because I didn't get to it quick enough.
Didn't get to that unmute button.
I'll keep my hand right here now so I can do that. So the second video was actually from Kristin over here off camera.
Yeah.
And
Kristin, tell us what that video was.
It was a do-it-yourself Super Mario 64 Piranha.
Nice.
It was cute too.
So it's like the piranha flower from the video games.
Yes.
You know, the flower that tries to eat you, basically. And it's a way that you can make your own.
Exactly. And you can definitely check that out here.
Shanky, and today on Overcooked Kubo, we are making piranha plant models.
Okay, so I mean, I thought that was a fun video. It's a little bit longer, but you know, definitely check it out. You get to learn how to make the whole thing.
Right, exactly. Like she takes you from beginning to end of how you can make your own piranha plant. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly. I thought it was a fun one. I liked it.
Yeah.
You know, it's you have to plant that little plant in like firm and that's all I'm gonna say because you gotta make sure it stays in there so it doesn't fall over.
Right.
My daughter has a little like 8-bit Groot one. I have to figure out how they make that because I really want to make that one too.
Nice.
So, I'm gonna go with yours.
Yeah.
Yours is more funnier than mine.
Well, my video. So I mean, this is not. It's not anything new or revolutionary. People have probably seen these videos before. Drunk History, which is like a Comedy Central thing, which is where they have like real historians. They get them drunk and then they have them just talk about a topic.
Yeah.
And then they kind of act it out. And so this one I was watching this week, partially because of everything that's going on in the world. And so it's about the Little Rock Nine. And so it's back from the 1950s when integration was happening with schools. And I like it's funny, it's clever, it's timely, it's all those things. And so I really enjoyed watching it. There's, several other Drunk History episodes, that if you have never checked out Drunk History, I encourage you because it's educational while also being hilarious. So definitely check that out. And so here's a short clip.
Hey everybody, I'm Amber Ruffin, and I'm here to talk about the Little Rock Knife. I can't reach you.
I got you in.
Oh, you got up.
One more
Do
night.
it again. We're gonna celebrate.
One more night.
Our story starts in Arkansas.
Cool. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And definitely make sure in the comment section in the links below, you'll be able to see all of the videos that we have and everything. So definitely go check those out.
Yeah.
The last thing I just want to mention is just a kind of like a little throw out and a little shout out to them. Definitely go check out Achievement Hunters Off Topic 236. They're really normally really goofy guys and really joking, drinking, having fun as just a bunch of gamers, bunch of nerds. But this one was a little more serious. So please definitely go check that one out as well, guys. And again, all their links and to all the videos will be in the description. So make sure you do go check those all out. Hey guys, so the other thing, our other segment, of course, and it's one of my favorite ones. I'm actually really, really enjoying this one.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is Take My Money.
Shut up and take my money.
Here comes the money. Dollar, dollar.
I still love that.
Yeah, it's
So
good times.
Here's where we talk about stuff that we think you should go buy that we found that's kind of geek related or just, fun to have, I guess I would say.
We stuck on Star
So,
Wars this week.
yeah,
All of our things are Star Wars.
Yeah, I had to follow suit with the Star Wars thing. I got outvoted, so.
That is not true. You chose that.
It got outvoted, and I just stole Robert. So there's your credit, Robert.
That is true.
I stole it from him. But it's really cool. It's an inflatable land speeder.
Yes,
for
it
your
is.
pool.
Yeah.
But
It's like the Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, these are not the droids you're looking for. That land speeder.
you know what? I wonder if it's the same price, though, because it was really.
It's over 9,000.
It was expensive.
It's like $300.
Hey.
When you showed it to me, I was like, do we
But
have $300?
if you're a huge Star Wars nerd and you like going to the pool and you have $300 extra to spend, there you go. I don't know how big it is. Like, it looked like it fit just one person, but maybe if it fits two, maybe it's got a cup holder for your margarita.
So
now all of a sudden the things are looking better.
It looks like it fits a small child. That's
Awesome.
about how big it gets.
Well, how much do you love your small child, Aaron?
She doesn't really care for Star Wars too much, though.
So, but not very much is what you're telling me. You don't love her very much.
You know what? She knows Spider-Gwen and Silk, so that's good enough for me.
Well, maybe if you'd picked a product that was Spider-Gwen or Silk. But you did.
Nope, because there was a bunch of other Star Wars things. Because your wife picked a cool one, though. I thought.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
not a camper, so I don't know about it.
I'm more what you would term indoorsy.
Indoorsy. I mean, you can
So-
set this up in your living room because it's a Star Wars tent.
A Star Wars tent.
So that's what you found on Amazon, or she found on Amazon, I guess, right? You found that one?
I don't know where she found it.
Is that Amazon? So, okay. So it's a cool looking tent, though. It looks like the Death Star, right? Is that what it looks like? I mean,
Yeah,
It's a Death Star,
it's Death Star-esque. I don't know if there's a trench in it. If there's like a fail-safe to blow it up.
so you set it all up, and then like a cat just walks by.
Well, I mean, it's, not much wider than shooting womp rats with your T-16 back home. So
Oh my god! So how big's a womp rat? Like, how big is that?
they're not much more than 2 meters wide.
No.
Thank you for unwittingly setting me up for that
You're
line,
welcome.
because they literally do address it in the movie.
I was like, wait, womp rat? How big is a womp rat? So,
It's literally about the size of that tent. That's a womp rat.
so the womp rat could live in there perfectly.
I would think so.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
But look, see, they have it set up in their like house. See,
Yeah, you
your
do.
indoor side will be good. and
Indoor tenting.
it's a school for ants. Oh god.
I know, that's Zoolander. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I haven't
It
seen that movie.
must
in,
be
like,
at least 3 times bigger. Yeah, that's a good one.
So I like it though. I like that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But You're gonna have to hunt around for it because right now on Amazon it is currently unavailable.
Oh.
But I'm sure it'll be back up on there later. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep looking. And I'm sure it's on other sites too.
Or what?
It's
No, it looked like,
a
a
camping tent, I
regular
guess?
tent that you would go camping in. Yeah.
I want to know, like, would I be camouflaged if I put that out in the wilderness? No.
100% no.
Well, I tried.
I actually saw this really cool one. It was like a giant bubble, like an igloo, but it was inflatable, like the pop-up inflatable tents that they make. Yeah. But it's a tent that you can sleep in at night, and it's clear, so it's like literally you're just laying in like this clear bubble, like if you're camping. So you zip it up, you turn it on, it blows air, it blows up. So you don't have any bugs, you don't have anything inside the tent itself, but you can still see everything on the outside. It's like sleeping under the stars.
So I could see the spider coming at me, in other words.
But it won't
Well-
get you because it'll be stuck on your tent.
Yeah. I don't know. That sounds like
I'm scared.
I lost all privacy. Like this is like the man who lives in a glass house not throwing stones. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just live in the basement then.
I don't.
I like my
I mean,
privacy.
but it's awesome, I guess, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and it's just you and you and your girl and you guys want to just like enjoy sitting out in the.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't know.
maybe, but like, if there's a giant spider coming at me, I don't want to see it.
A giant spider. What is this, Harry Potter?
Maybe. I don't know.
But it's not gonna get you because you're inside your tent.
But he's gonna be looking at me. He's be like, "I'm gonna eat you when you get out." I'd be like, I don't want you to. I'd rather not know he's there, and just ignore it.
So basically, you subscribe to the Matrix cipher character philosophy: ignorance is bliss.
For giant spiders, yes. If there's a spider about to kill me, yes, I will gladly subscribe to that.
I gotcha.
Everything else, no.
Okay.
But if I had this toy,
One
maybe
more.
I'd be okay.
Yeah, one more toy.
Exactly.
I found this and sticking with the Star Wars theme. So it is a Nerf Blaster in the it's the Han Solo blaster, but it's a Nerf gun, and it comes with like little Star Wars Nerf bullets, and it is definitely something I would say it's one of the few good things that came out of that movie, because I don't think they had made it before. But then they made the Solo movie a couple years ago, and this was one of the toys that accompany it. I had never seen it before, but now I see it, and now I want it. And so, I might buy my daughter a Nerf Blaster gun.
It's like, Dad, can I play with it? No, it's my time to play with it.
That's right.
But Dad, it's mine. It's mine. You're grounded from it. You
I
did
mean-
something, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll just buy two.
I mean, you have to have a Nerf war, so you have to buy two.
Exactly.
So there you go. But then who's going to shoot first?
Han always shoots first. Han always shoots first.
That was like, I don't ever got that debate. Like, whoever shot.
The Chewbacca crossbow Nerf gun?
I thought they did.
I have no clue, but that sounds freaking awesome.
I thought they did. I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm not sure, but I thought they did.
I have no idea.
Definitely have to check that out. But that was a cool. But see, if the giant spider was coming in my tent that's see-through that Frank told me about.
Okay.
I have this Nerf gun. I'll be okay. I can shoot the spider.
I mean, I just feel like we're setting you up for lots of fun for this summer with Star Wars stuff. You got You got a Nerf gun that you can use. You can float around in your pool in a land speeder. You can go camping in the Death Star.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be broke, but
I mean, yeah, but that's why you
have a cool $300 floaty.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have the floaty. But see, if you're broke, you already have the tent to live in the wilderness. You're good. Right?
Exactly. And
Take the floaty into the tent, use the floaty as a bed. Right. So see, it doubles.
Yeah.
That's two things.
And you can use the Han Solo blaster to forage for yourself. You can kill squirrels with it, I'm sure.
Maybe small rabbits.
I think that the squirrel will probably laugh it off. And
Maybe you could kill womp rats with it.
There's a womp rat. Oh, it's 2 meters long. Yeah. Well, okay. Can I measure that?
Rodents of unusual size? I don't believe they exist.
Those were fun times.
So, yeah.
So check all those out in our description below, though.
Yeah, we are not selling. We get no money from recommending these products.
Absolutely none.
So if you think they're cool, just go buy them.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, let's also talk about the next thing that we have on our plate, of course.
Right, yeah.
I mean, So, guys, of course, we always want to keep you informed on everything going on around the geek culture and then some. So we welcome to you Geek World today.
Geek World today. What's our first news story, Aaron?
So the first one kind of ties with a couple things. So Call of Duty Season 4 was supposed to come out for Warzone.
Yep.
That has been delayed, but there's been leaks about it now. So they delayed it because it was supposed to come out this past week. But because of the whole Black Lives Matter movement and all that, they felt it was insensitive to take anything away from them, so they decided to delay it. So it actually, no one knows 100% when it's coming out, but data miners have basically took to the game and tried to figure out when this release date is coming out. And as of the time of this recording, it is coming out June 10th. So it should actually come out. I'm going to go do the math again. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's Wednesday, I believe. My math. Yeah.
Yep, I believe you're correct.
Hopefully it'll come out tomorrow after this video has been launched for all of you to see.
Yep.
But we'll know for sure. Probably, I bet you by Monday we'll know for sure, because that gives it a week, and then they're probably going to say, hey, yeah, we are releasing it. Probably like Monday or Tuesday we'll get the full announcement on that one.
Nice.
So I thought that was cool. And that kind of ties in with something else I wanted to talk about too. Infinity Ward, who is the company that makes the video game, and Epic and a bunch of other game companies have been posting stuff about Black Lives Matter and how they are supporting the movement.
Yeah.
As of about 4 or 5 days ago, I believe, Infinity Ward has, when you pull up Call of Duty and you click on any of the stuff, it's going to say like Black Lives Matter. They're going to have a little paragraph just stating that they support everything. And when you click next and like are in the loading screen where it has all your characters and everything and your buddies are playing with you, on the bottom right, there's like a little store normally, and it just shows like the stuff on sale, like come buy our stuff. But one of the panels actually is a Black Lives Matter panel instead.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of cool. Epic and a few others are doing something similar, just stating their support that, it all matters, and they are joining in on this movement. So that has caused some backlash. People are now posting videos online of them actually uninstalling the games or deleting the games.
Sure.
And they're not going to play them anymore. And if you're a really good player, thanks, because now I can rank up higher.
Some people are going to be on the wrong side of history, and some people won't be. So
exactly. So
I'm just saying, there were people that were against ending slavery. There were people that were against ending, lynching. There were people that were against segregation. There were people that are against a lot of different things. So, the world is moving forward. I'm very happy about that. We here at Get Your Geek On also support Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
We support, the fight against police brutality. We're not here to say that every police officer is a horrible person, but there is some systemic changes that need to happen. And so we support that too. And it's good to see. I mean, I think, it's been interesting, at least to me, that this is, this movement has obviously been going on for several years. Yeah. Specifically, the Black Lives Matter movement, but, obviously 400 plus years of this has been going on. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think that, as much as, the coronavirus has been a horrible thing, the world has kind of stopped. And so I think it's provided a platform for this to really be even larger than it ever has been before. There's not sports going on to distract us. There's not new movies coming out to distract us. And so we've really seen a focused movement, and it seems to have built up a lot of momentum. And so I have a feeling that, we're going to get some lasting change, and hopefully it's enough.
Hopefully, it all starts with the kids. That's what it comes down to. And the Gen Zs and a few others have been posting some cool videos about all of this too. So, no matter what side you're on, though, just always listen. That's the best thing. I hope 100%. That no matter what anyone takes away from this, just listen. Yep. Whether you agree or disagree with anybody, just listen. Yep. That's step one, I think, in anything. So, but let's get away from the politics side.
All right.
Because, that's not why we're here.
We're here to have some fun.
Exactly. And I don't know. The next thing I saw that came out was something from Marvel Studios.
Marvel!
That Daredevil
is
going to soon revert back to them.
Yeah, they're going to get Daredevil's film rights are going to come back to Marvel Studios because even though they were using him in TV on the Netflix side, he actually wasn't eligible to be in a standalone Daredevil movie made by Marvel Studios and Disney until, I believe, this year, or it might be next year. Similar to things like Fantastic Four for a while was like that. you know, they were owned by Fox, and they kind of kept making those movies in an attempt to keep the rights as much as they were trying to make money with them as well. They failed
miserably.
But also similar to like the Hulk, where he still has rights that are tied up with another studio, with Universal Studios. So we actually, you know, the last time that there was a movie with the name Hulk in the title was The Incredible Hulk, and that was actually financed and produced by Universal Studios in conjunction with Marvel Studios. But now that Marvel is owned outright by Disney, anytime they use that character moving forward, it's in a Avengers movie or in a Thor movie. It's not in a standalone Hulk movie. So if they had tried to use Daredevil in the last few years, it would have been the same way, where they could have included him in an ensemble movie or in someone else's movie, but they couldn't have made a Daredevil movie. So now they are going to get those rights back.
September, October, I think, is when they get it back.
And so they will be able to, you know, make a solo Daredevil movie if they want. I think... you know, there's not a lot more characters that I think are going to get introduced in, you know, a solo movie. I think that at this point, you know, whether it's Black Panther and Spider-Man getting introduced in Civil War, or, you know, we had things like Ant-Man did get, you know, launched as a solo property. That was the first time we saw him. So I think that we're still going to get a couple of those, but I think for most part, like if they bring in Daredevil to the universe, I think he's going to get brought in either via a Disney Plus show or a movie where he'll be a supporting character, and then he might get a spinoff of his own movie. I don't really foresee them just saying, hey, here's a Daredevil movie. The characters they can do that with now are characters where they're going to maybe go back in time, like a Captain Marvel. They did that. But if we're moving forward with storylines, you know, it's going to be really hard to just drop in a character that nobody else has seen before.
And that's true. It's going to be really hard. And I think, unfortunately for Daredevil, especially where the movies are, I don't feel he's going to be powerful enough to keep up with everybody, because he has no super strength. He has no true superpower except like the sonar hearing.
Echolocation.
Yeah. And he's trained by Stick. And so he's technically a ninja.
Right.
But he really, I mean, put him against Spider-Man, or even the way they've made Captain America now, how he has his super strength, it's like he's not going to do great.
Well, Captain America's like 1,000 years old now.
I mean,
and he
should be dead, so...
He's retired, officially.
I mean, I guess the only non-powered one at all would technically be Falcon,
who is now the new Captain America.
New Captain America, but he still has no powers.
Right.
And I guess Bucky would be the one right below him, but Bucky has the arm.
Rhodey doesn't have powers,
That's
but
true.
he's
He has the suit.
basically Iron Man.
Yeah. So it would be interesting to see how they would try to like shoehorn him in with like the movie side.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's going to fit much more in the Disney Plus arena.
That would make more sense.
You know, they're going to have a She-Hulk series that they already announced. She's a lawyer. And so I could see that being kind of an easy tie-in where maybe, you know, she has some sort of run-in at the courthouse with Matt Murdock, you know, where they just interact for like a scene. And then we get our own Daredevil series after that, or something like that. Or maybe she interacts with Foggy, you know, and they don't reveal Daredevil just yet.
Maybe that'd be kind of cool too.
But you know, just kind of, I think that, you know, the Disney Plus stuff is gonna build up, and it's gonna allow us to explore the corner of the universe that's maybe not quite as cinematic.
And that's true. I mean, there was a slight rumor, and if it kind of holds true when this happens. So if they really get the rights later this year, let's say, Spider-Man 3. There was rumors at one point that they were wanting to do Daredevil to bring Matt Murdock in as his attorney. Yeah, that could fit into place. Maybe somebody knew something before. I mean, that was a very grain of salt rumor, but that'd be a good fit.
for sure. Yeah. And it's one of those like, you know, no spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home.
Right.
But the end of that movie definitely leaves Spider-Man in a place where he might need some assistance.
Exactly.
There's a lot of different ways they could go from there.
Yeah.
They could, you know, it could all be a lie. It could all be, you know, something that, you know, is taken care of or retconned very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Or they might decide that, they need to, you know, include something where he needs some sort of legal representation.
And they have worked together in the comics in the past, Spider-Man and Daredevil.
It would be awesome. I really don't think it's going to happen.
Aww.
I would love it. but
So-
I would be very surprised if that happened.
If they do bring Daredevil,
Yep.
even if it's Disney Plus or movies, who would you want to see play him? Because I love Charlie Cox.
I have no idea. Charlie Cox is fantastic. He is not going to be the MCU's Daredevil.
You don't think so?
No, 100% not. They are not going to bring anyone from the Netflix series.
I
I
really
wish they
like
would. I think they cast almost all of those series really, really well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think Charlie Cox is great. I think Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage is
Okay.
fantastic. Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, I thought was really good. John Bernthal as the Punisher was great. Finn Jones is Iron Fist. I think he was miscast from an acting perspective, and he also was not a martial artist, so that was really, really weird. But Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin was great.
Yes.
Like, but we're not going to get those characters. Like, we got them in Netflix. We enjoyed them for several seasons. They were a lot of fun. But when the MCU takes these characters, they are going to redefine them. It's the same way with, the X-Men characters. We're not going to get Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. We're not going to get Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Like, it's just not going to happen. They're going to recast. And I'm going to be okay with it. So I have no idea who I would want. I can't even, in my brain, I can't even think of who. Maybe, like, my brain is saying maybe Zac Efron.
Ooh, that'd be an
I think
interesting
he's a really good actor, and he's got a good look for it. So I could maybe see that happening, but I don't know. I didn't hear what Frank said. So what'd you say?
Ben Affleck.
No.
He's already
Stay
had
away,
his
Ben.
chance at Daredevil.
Don't ever come back.
That movie is actually not as terrible as you remember, but it's bad.
So I've watched it several times.
Okay.
And
it is not Supergirl bad, no.
I've watched it several times. The only way I loved it is if you watch the director's cut in its entirety.
Yep.
Then it's actually not a terrible movie. But if you don't watch that and you watch the theatrical release, it sucks.
I was high and I fell asleep halfway through it.
So this is what I will say about that movie, is I want to see the movie that Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin and Colin Farrell as Bullseye were making.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie because they were crazy, and it was like, what is this plot? I do not want to see the movie that had Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner as Daredevil and Elektra. That was like, man, their dynamic was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I know in real life they were like married or dating or whatever, but their chemistry in that movie is awful.
Yeah, I thought
so.
that too.
Yeah, no, I am interested in Daredevil. I don't think, again, as we've kind of already talked about, it'll be really interesting. So Black Widow is the next MCU movie that's coming out. She's not a powered character.
No.
Right? So maybe after that one, I'll go, you know what? I could see them pulling off a Daredevil in the movie.
That's true.
But
see how she does.
I am definitely more interested in seeing that in Disney Plus. And again, I have no idea. I mean, Zac Efron was the only name that comes to mind, but I don't know if I really like it or not. It's just something that I thought.
Yeah. See, and I'm the same way. I don't know who I'd want to see play him. I love Charlie Cox. Like you said, they casted that all the Netflix to me. Yeah, even Iron Fist, even though he's a little weak, I think they were all casted perfectly though. Like, I enjoyed it, but I really don't know who I could see taking up the Daredevil mantle after that.
I don't know.
To be honest, anything was better than Ben Affleck. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take my shot because but
he is not a good Daredevil.
No, he's not. But moving forward from that one, I wanted to say, if you haven't been noticing on our Facebook page, definitely go check it out at facebook.com/officialgygo.
Woo.
We have been posting when Epic releases their games that they're giving away. Since this whole shutdown or the whole quarantine, Epic has been giving away a new game about every month or so right now, I think, because they've already released like 3 games. Yeah. So the first game, or the newest game, I should say, is Overcooked. And that one, it's all on all these games are on PC, so you can get them free for PC.
With special guest star Gordon Ramsay?
No. I mean, you can get yelled at, but you're getting yelled at by your teammates.
Oh, okay.
So Overcooked, what it is you can play different characters, little cats, little dogs, humans, and you're trying to save the world from this evil monster that's trying to eat it by cooking him food. And once he fills up and his belly is full, he just goes away. I don't remember if he dies or what. But he goes away. So the entire game is you trying to become a better cook and doing different challenges throughout it. Like, there's one part where there's like a lava pit you have to kind of like jump over to cook what's your vegetables on one side, but you got to go to the other side to chop them, but then you got to go over here to wash the dishes. So it's a cool little like fun cooking game kind of thing.
So
what?
I mean, it just feels like I feel like this video game is for people that don't like really cooking or really cleaning, which I don't like cleaning either. But like, what? I don't understand. What is the purpose of this game? I don't understand.
You have to get every time you complete an order and you turn it in because you're working at the restaurant.
Sure.
You get points, and then of course you get stars. And every time you get a star, you get like you have to open up areas, and you need so many stars every time to open up the area. And it's just challenging because you have obstacles stopping you from trying to cook. Because like there's one map where it looks like a regular restaurant.
You mean like children? That's my obstacle to cooking.
So, no.
Oh, okay.
This obstacle would be like at one point, there's like an earthquake that happens while you're playing, and the map rises. So half your stuff's up here. So maybe like you're chopping, you have the vegetables and the chopping block and all that up here, but your frying pans and everything are down here. So if you're stuck up here, you kind of have to like throw stuff to the other person who's trying to cook. And in the end, it's basically let's just yell at everybody and see who gets it done.
It's like Cutthroat Kitchen. You know, you have to like challenges.
It's like what?
Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Never heard of it.
Where
I
they
liked
get, like,
Cutthroat Kitchen.
Like they give you like the world's smallest frying pan, and like they bid
Kind
for
of,
it,
yeah.
and then they tell you, well, how much you pay me to give this to somebody. So they give you like
Well-
$2,000, then you have to like buy it, and then you give it to one of the other chefs, and they have to cook their whole meal in like a pan that big.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, you're all working together, so that's the only big difference. But if it's like someone's not chopping the vegetable right and they're screwing up, and then it's like, well, I needed onions and you chopped up a tomato, then it's like, oh crap. Well, and then the orders, it's like they waited too long and they disappear and you lose points instead. And so everything's timed, and it's a fun little challenge kind of thing. But
I believe you. I will take your word for it.
I know that I had a friend that was him and his wife played it, and they almost got into like huge arguments every time. They had to
Yeah.
actually stop playing the
That's-
game.
it
He says they never
sounds-
finished.
Co-op games are dangerous.
They are. So
it's like school projects when you're like, I do all the work and nobody is pulling their weight.
yeah, they stopped playing that one. They said. But yeah, so check it out, guys, if you want to check that, see
Sure.
something different.
If you have relationships you would like to destroy and coronavirus hasn't done it effectively for you, check out
Play
this game.
Overcooked. You know, if you have the crazy ex or the crazy girlfriend, and you're like, man, I've tried 3 times to get rid of her.
I would like to get a crazy ex-girlfriend now.
Yes, I need the crazy ex-girlfriend. Play Overcooked with her, and she'll be gone in about 20 minutes. Promise. I promise this.
Terrible.
So, in some other news, Batwoman, we all know Ruby Rose. We talked about Batwoman last week.
Yes, we did.
And this week, they're actually talking about making a whole new character to replace Batwoman. No, they haven't said who it is. They haven't said anything about it. Apparently, there was a leak online. The company that creates and handles like the casting and all that had a post out there that said they were looking for a Batwoman like casting, but it said for a new character.
Yeah,
So
I
they
mean,
didn't say who.
I didn't watch the show, so I don't know. So
garbage.
what character did she play? Was she
Ruby Rose was actually Cassandra Cain, Batwoman herself.
Okay.
So she was the lead
So,
actress.
and that's why I was like, I didn't think she was, because Barbara Gordon is the Batgirl that I'm more familiar with, rather than, and then she becomes Oracle, of course. But I wonder, like obviously there have been multiple Batgirls in the comics or in other source material. So, I think they're going to leave the door open. In case they ever do want to come back together, and they're not just going to recast the character. They're going to say we've got a new character. And since I didn't watch it, I don't know how that's going to play. If that's going to be weird, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know how it ended. It probably didn't end with "and she's disappeared."
Right.
So they're going to have to explain it somehow.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched 5 episodes and I literally could not tolerate it anymore, and I stopped watching it. I heard she hasn't really announced why she had left. They said the writing was all over the place. At some point, she's somehow Kryptonian now.
Yeah,
that was weird. I was like,
thank you.
Apparently kryptonite actually affects her, and it hurts her like it hurts Superman, Supergirl. I heard, and I was like, that's not Cassandra Cain. She's just a regular human like the rest of us. So I don't know. I don't know where it went with it. I know her sister was the evil, the antagonist throughout the whole series. I remember. So I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. After, like I said, about 5 episodes, maybe 6, I couldn't stomach it anymore. And I was done. But I don't know. I don't know who. They haven't said who they're looking at, or if it's a whole new character, or like you said, are we gonna pull Barbara Gordon? I forgot all the other ones' names. Cassandra Cain.
Girl.
Correct.
Right.
and this was Batwoman. Two different people.
Well, who else takes up the
No,
mantle
I mean,
of Bat?
Yeah, 'cause it was
Cassandra
Batgirl,
Cain.
and then-
Cassandra Cain was also Batgirl, though.
I thought she was always
I don't-
Batwoman.
I've never liked Cassandra Cain. Whenever I read her in the comics, so I'm not 110% sure.
Batwoman because she's the one that had like the red hair, right? Like
Yeah, she has
had
red
the wig
hair.
on.
See, I thought that's why she had the wig, is because she was Batwoman and Barbara was red haired before that, and I thought that's why she was trying to make it.
Because I thought Barbara Gordon was always Batgirl. She never became Batwoman because then
She did in that terrible movie.
Oh my God, the movie, the Killing Joke
The
one.
Killing Joke.
Yes.
She became a Batwoman in that
Oh my
one.
God, that was terrible. We're gonna have this whole scene that makes
Oh
there's
my
no
God.
need for it. We
The
could have
first-
just talked about the
The
comic.
first 30 minutes of that movie are so bad.
No,
It's so
they really
bad.
are.
It's like I need to give the rest of it a chance and just start at that point because like I was so disappointed by what started that movie that I like it put a sour taste in my mouth for the rest of it. So
you need to watch the whole thing.
I'm-
The rest of
now-
it's good.
Yeah, and that's kind of like I remember, but the rest of it is just the comic, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I just need to watch from that point forward and see if
It was like, oh, the comic's too short. We didn't realize that till later, and now we have to do 20 minutes of just this.
But
Let's not talk about
yeah,
it.
but it's just like they made up a terrible storyline.
They did. It was garbage.
Batgirl, Batwoman, all the bats come out.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they come out in Death of the Family too. They bring back
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm curious on who they're gonna get because we've had other iterations of her, like you said.
Yep. We'll see.
So who knows? But it'll be interesting to see how they play it off. Like you said, how do you comment that this character's not here anymore? That'll be an
Yeah,
interesting one
I mean,
too.
they'll find a way to do it, whether that way ends up working and people stick with the show, or it doesn't work and people leave and the show goes by the wayside. You know,
Yeah.
I guess time will tell.
Exactly. And then the last little bit of news, MI7, Mission Impossible 7.
Which, by the way, I would just like to take
Uh-oh.
a moment to point out. So there's been 6 impossible missions that haven't actually been impossible because
No.
they've solved them,
Yeah,
every single
every
one.
single one.
So I just feel like this is false advertising. These
So it
are
should just
not
be-
impossible missions.
Possible Mission 7? Is that what it should be called or what?
It should be
Maybe
the-
mission?
the extremely challenging and difficult mission that will be solved by this team. 7.
That might be too long of a name.
We
But-
just got to come up with like an acronym for it or something.
Oh.
So, yeah.
But-
I mean, I love Mission Impossible. I mean, it was the TV show in like the 1960s or
70s, I think.
I think it was.
70s.
I think it started in the 60s, but I don't really remember.
Frank, you're old. When was it?
I don't know. But I watched those growing up. Like my grandpa had a bunch of them on like VHS and stuff. So I would watch those episodes of that show. I liked that. You know, I grew up on like the first 2 movies that came out.
Yes,
Because I think the first one was like 95, and then the second one was a few years after that. And the first one's really good. The second one's not so good. And then J.J. Abrams actually kind of rebooted and revitalized the series with the third one, Mission Impossible 3,
Right.
which is the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman as a villain. It's still my favorite Mission Impossible movie. I think that was
that's where
awesome.
I stopped watching them too. Was that third one?
And then 4, 5, and 6 are just like huge, like we're gonna have crazy stunts and like they're fun, but they're more kind of like mindless action movies.
Yeah.
I thought the reason that 3 is my favorite is because I think 1 and 3 are the most clever, and are the ones that have kind of the most espionage stuff going on.
Exactly.
And so I really like those 2 a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. They're gonna start filming in
September.
September.
That's what they're
yeah.
shooting for.
So
Okay, question. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Simon
Okay.
Pegg.
yes.
Is that the same Simon Pegg from the British actor? Or is
Yeah.
that anything?
Mhm.
Okay. And I didn't know he was involved in all this.
Yes,
I did not know that.
his first one was, I believe, was Mission Impossible 3.
Okay.
I think that's the one where we got introduced to his character.
Oh.
And correct. Yeah, he started off in like kind of just a computer guy helping out and
Right.
stuff, and then transitioned into more of a field agent. And the other guy that's been he's been in almost all of them. I can't remember if he was in 2. Is Ving Rhames, yeah. Who a lot of people know as Marcellus Wallace.
He was
Pulp
introduced
Fiction.
in part 2.
No, he was in the first one. He was in the very first one.
He's been in every one.
Yeah, and I think he has. I think he's the only other actor.
Part 2, he just makes like a quick cameo towards the end.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he had a major role in like the first movie. and then it kind of diminished through like 2 and 3, and then he got a little bit more to do. Coming back, and so.
And he actually joined the team, right? I think he ends up like actually becoming part of the team.
Yeah, I mean, in different movies, he's part of the team, and so I mean, the movies are fun. They're a lot of fun in action movies. I mean, the most recent one, which was Ghost Protocol. I think so. Or no, Ghost Protocol was 5, so I can't remember what 6 was called. No, wait.
Impossible, but not too impossible.
There's like Rogue Nation. I think Ghost Protocol was 4, Rogue Nation is 5, and then I don't remember what 6 was.
After 3, I really don't remember any of them.
But in the most recent one, Mission Impossible 6, is the one that is famous because that was shooting while Joss Whedon was brought in to do the reshoots on Justice League with Henry Cavill, and Henry Cavill was... like
that's he has the mustache,
the
right?
villain in Mission Impossible, and he
yeah.
had the mustache, and I think it's Paramount that does the Mission Impossible movies, and they were like, "We will not let you shave his mustache."
Yes, that's right, because that's where the scene where Henry Cavill, I think he does like the whole like sleeve thing or something. That became was that him with the
jerks his sleeves out?
Yeah, and then like no one forgot that. It was a whole thing. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I just didn't realize Simon Pegg was in it. And I was like, "Is that who I think it is?"
It is. It is. Yeah.
Meant to ask you on that. So that was just the news that we found, guys, around the net. Thought that you would enjoy it and have fun with it. We are kind of wrapping it up and going to end it in a couple moments. But one thing, your wife said she wanted to do a little pop question to us, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we've got our Q&A session still to come.
Oh, yeah, we still have a Q&A. So let's do the pop question real quick.
Okay.
And her question was, what if you could customize anything? What would it be?
If I could customize anything?
What would it be? Yeah. And that's exactly what she put.
Customize.
I mean, I don't. That's too broad for me.
That's really broad.
I mean,
I would customize a movie theater room in my house.
Ooh,
like that. I want movie props. I want movie posters. I want all the surround sound. I want digital.
The movie seating, the seats too.
Absolutely, with the recliner seats, and I want a little popcorn machine in there. I want, HD, 4K, whatever the most recent. Like I want the best picture quality and sound and all that. And blackout curtains, and like straight up, I want to recreate the movie theater experience in my
Dude,
house.
that'd be cool.
So
I wouldn't know what to customize, like seriously, because I don't know. I don't have anything I want to customize in my own place.
Customize your car into a transformer?
No, because what happens if he transforms while I'm inside? I'm dead. Like,
have you not seen any of these movies?
I don't know how they get out. I'm still confused on that every time they do this.
Actually, so I saw a movie or a video recently that was like talking about. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's I think it's How It Should Have Ended. I think is what they do, and they do. He does like videos where he dubs over different, and so it's just like comedy. And so they did the first one, and I'm like thinking back. I mean, that movie came out over a decade ago, and I don't really remember it. But there's a scene where the two human characters, which is Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf, are like being held by one of the Transformers, and then there's like an explosion, so they drop, and Optimus Prime like puts out his foot. It's like, I will soften your fall with my metal leg. It's like, yeah, logically that doesn't make sense at all.
No, not at all.
Just boom, they just like bounce off of his leg.
That's what I'm saying. Like
oh,
it would kill me. It would kill me. So I don't know what I would customize. I mean, I guess if I had a truck, I'd like customize a truck.
Yeah.
And then like kind of like the same idea, put like something in the back where I could just like chill actually in the bed of the truck. And
there you go.
I don't know. That is a broad one.
That's a very broad question.
But don't forget this week too, guys, real quick, that we do have our Marvel Cinematic
Marvel Cinematic Universe retrospective
came out this past Monday.
Yeah, Spider-Man,
my boy.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
We finally got to our solo Spider-Man movie in the MCU.
Yep.
So check that out. Check out our thoughts. I tried to rein them in. I didn't do a very good job. And then the second, or the movie that's coming out next week, is actually Thor Ragnarok.
That one's coming out.
So, I mean, we're getting there. We're almost to the end.
Almost.
We got like 6 or 7 more. And
And that's really all we have coming out this week. Of course, check out for the segment videos this week. This is the first week. I think everything will be chopped up and set out there. So if you only wanted the news, that'll be up there. If you just want to hear the Q&A part that's coming up next, check that out, and etc. So on that note, let's get to that Q&A part.
Yeah. All right, so we are back with your questions here. So the first question that we have is from Kit Kat Torres, and she asks, so it seems as if the only mutant movie we got left was Deadpool. Okay. And do you think they'll have any future movies dealing with mutants? It seems like the X-Men heroes have been played out too many times. Do you even have a favorite X-Men movie? So there's several questions there. So let's start with, will we have future movies dealing with mutants?
I would say yes, because they spent so much money buying Fox that they're going to use those mutants in some way, somehow.
I agree. I think we're going to get them. It might be a slow build. I don't think it's going to be an X-Men right off the bat. But we're going to get mutants in the movies for sure. I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah. But then she says, it's the X-Men's heroes have been played out too many times. Do you agree with that?
I kind of do, but I'm actually on the other side. I think the villains have been played out too much because, don't get me wrong, Magneto he's always going to be the main villain.
I love Magneto.
And I do too. He's one of my favorite villains, one of my favorite characters in Marvel.
Played brilliantly by both Sir Ian McKellen and by Michael Fassbender.
Exactly. But, I mean, we've had 7 movies now, roughly, and he's pretty much been in the villain somehow in some way in every single one of them. I want to start going into, what about Mr. Sinister? What about maybe touching more on just the brotherhood of mutants, where we have the Blob, we have Pyro, we have all of them, or moving forward, and I hate it. They were barely touched on in X-Men First Class, but the Hellfire Club. I love Sebastian Shaw. He's my other favorite villain from there.
And honestly, that kind of dovetails with her final question, which was, your favorite X-Men movie. Mine is X-Men First Class. And I know, but even though it's not the First Class from the comics, and even though, the Hellfire Club is totally ruined, I love Kevin Bacon as Sebastian Shaw. I think he does a great job. And then the dynamic between, Xavier and Magneto, where they're friends, and I think, I mean, how many times have we talked about the different things of, whether it's the Batman, Superman, the Martha, why did you say that name? Or whether it's Iron Man, fighting Bucky because you killed my mom, whether it's Star-Lord snapping because you killed Gamora. Yeah. I think that moment at the end of First Class where he pushes the coin through Sebastian Shaw's head and it's like, I agree with everything that you're saying, but you killed my mom. Like, that moment is awesome. Oh, yeah. I love it. And so even though, I think the X-Men movies, and there's been, there were 3 in the original franchise, and there were,
X-Men First Class. X-Men.
There was, it was First Class, it was Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse, and then Dark Phoenix. So there's 4 more. 7. So there's 7 official X-Men movies. Then there's been the spin-offs. There's the Wolverine movies. 3. There's the Deadpool movies.
Yeah, that's another 2. That's 12. Yeah.
But the actual X-Men movies, I think it's either, for me, I like X2 a lot. I like the first X-Men a lot, and I like First Class a lot. Those 3 are my top 3. And First Class, I think, is my favorite just because of those character moments that we get. And so, I agree with you. As much as I love Magneto, he's my favorite mutant villain. He's probably my favorite Marvel villain and maybe my favorite villain of all time overall. Okay. I love Magneto. I think we need to hold off. I think we need to hold off on building to Professor X and the X-Men. They can be there, and maybe, they can be revealed that they've always been there, but they've been, in hiding because they've been, scared of, repercussions or things like that. So I think you could still use that storyline, but I would like to wait a few years before we get to our X-Men.
Exactly. And like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing more of Magneto, maybe more, though, of a sideline character, maybe letting Mr. Sinister or, the Brotherhood, like
Multiple Man.
The Brotherhood of Mutants is like, hey, you know what? We're not going to listen to you anymore, Magneto. We're going to do our own thing. Or even the Morlocks, they barely touched those in 3.
Yeah. Well, and like part of the reason why I want them to not give us Professor X is because in every movie except probably First Class, they sideline Professor X.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the first X-Men movie, it's, Cerebro. They like poison Cerebro. In the second one, he gets taken captive and he's got the mind control serum. In the third one, they actually kill him off. Then you get into First Class and he's actually Professor X the whole time. But then you get into Days of Future Past and, he doesn't want to use his powers,
He's more of a drunk in that one. I
Right.
think, too,
well,
right?
he's like a drug addict kind of thing. And then, you get to Apocalypse and it's all about like Apocalypse trying to take him over. And that movie's terrible. And then don't see it.
Okay.
And then Dark Phoenix is another one where it's like, he's rationalizing not using his powers and things. And so it's just like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that storyline. Like, if you're going to give me Professor X, give me Professor X. Like, let him be the leader of the X-Men.
Exactly.
Let him use his powers. And so, let's hold off.
I mean, I think Magneto's my favorite mutant. One of my favorite villains, because Doctor Doom's always my favorite villain in Marvel.
He's great, too.
So I think Magneto's probably one of my favorites. But right behind him, I think it would probably be Logan, be Wolverine, because of his torment and what he's gone through. When you start realizing the origin story, not the movies, but like in general, they're really good. But as for movie-wise...
Yeah, what's your favorite X-Men?
I honestly... The writing for First Class is really good. I'll give you that. I think it's phenomenal. I just don't like what they did.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind, and I actually kind of liked Days of Futures Past. Because now...
A lot of people really like that one.
Yeah, and I think the main reason, too, is because... Magneto wasn't really the villain as much. He was kind of the side villain. It was all about the Sentinels and about the rights and everything that mutants have.
Oliver Trask.
And I loved who they cast for him.
Yeah.
I thought that was an amazing cast too for that. And how Wolverine's trying to know, okay, here's the future where I come from, but now I got to try to live in this past era. And I was okay. The ending was a little odd because, again, time travel throws everything off, and no one knows how time travel works anyway. So
well, I mean, the ending of that movie actually... I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome because they go back to the original cast.
Yes, which is also why I was happy.
And so you've got, James Marsden in there as Cyclops, and you've got, all these characters that died in Last Stand.
They retconned all
of a sudden they're back, and you're like, oh, yeah. And then they're just like, we're going to give you Apocalypse. And we're like, oh.
See, that's why I didn't watch that one because I was like, I don't want to know about it because I loved that ending. I thought it was perfect because now it's like we could move forward with this cast if we want to. Okay. And then nothing.
So our last Q&A, we talked about different series to do. I want to do the X-Men one just so I can force you to watch Apocalypse.
So now we know what we're doing.
So bad.
What was the next one you got?
Next question, also from Kit Kat. And she asked, what do we think about the PS5? Are we jumping on the bandwagon or playing it safe? She says she's excited, but her wallet is nervous.
Right. I think I touched on that, or we touched on that last week, I think.
We did, a little bit.
And they're talking, what was that?
Was it a $700 platform?
They are.
Those are the rumors.
The rumors is that I believe it's a 1 terabyte is going to be $700, and there's an 825 gigabyte one for like $650 or something like that. Which I was like, that's a ridiculous price point. I'm not a huge fan of the PS5 of Sony in general. I have my PS4. I play literally 2 games on it, and that's it. And then it just sits there as a kind of like what you do with Blu-ray player, YouTube, whatever. But at $700, that's a price point too high for me.
Yep.
If Xbox comes anywhere below that, Xbox is probably going to win this console war because people are going to go where it's cheaper for right now. And the good thing with Microsoft is they kind of have some resources on their side that they can build the technology for it. Where Sony, I think they only hold the Blu-ray stuff. I think right. That's the only technology I think Sony owns.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know.
Microsoft has the technology. They can rebuild him.
Yes, the $1 million Xbox. Don't buy that.
It's coming.
I don't know. I think we touched on it last week enough. I think.
Yeah.
But I would say off the bat, I probably won't unless there's going to be some badass Spider-Man game or God of War game. But I'll probably wait till it drops at least $100, $150 if that's the price point.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting myself one until or unless something happens with my PS4.
Right? Yeah.
The PS4 is still doing everything I need it to do, and I'm not a big gamer,
exactly.
So it's not like I need to buy it for all the new games.
I think that would be probably the only time I would buy a PS5 is when that breaks, because they already said Last of Us 2 is going to come out for PS4 because that comes out next month, I've heard, and that's the only other game I want for my PlayStation. That I'm like, okay, I'll play that and beat it, and then I don't know. But I have other PlayStation games. I'm like, I wanted to play these, and I bought them, and they're seriously still sitting in the shrink wrap. I'm like, I probably should go return those.
You probably should. All right, last question is from Matthew Hasso, and he wants to know a non-Marvel or DC, so don't pick Marvel or DC,
Okay.
superhero franchise that you want to see started, or if they already did it, rebooted. You're not allowed to say The Crow.
It's not Marvel or DC, though.
I know. I was just messing with you. Do you really want another Crow, or is that going to ruin, that first movie for you?
Well, that's a good one. You go first, because now I got to think about that question.
I don't even know.
You're trying to delay.
I'm just trying to think of like other non-Marvel and DC properties. Unfortunately, I'm not. That's not my biggest strength in terms of like knowledge and stuff. So
you know what? I have two.
Okay.
Well, I would like to see The Crow rebooted with the fact that James O'Barr, the creator of The Crow, actually be a consultant or somehow help in like making the movie.
Okay.
Which he originally was when they were looking at what's his name, Jason Momoa or whatever, the Aquaman.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be The Crow.
Okay.
And James O'Barr was actually on board as a consultant for that film before that film got scrapped for whatever reasons. So I would like to see where they would have gone with that.
Okay.
And maybe just one film though, because the comic book really is just the one comic book for Eric Draven. And maybe pick up a series that every movie is a new person as the Crow, and like how it really should be passed on, not what they did with the franchise.
At the end of that movie, which I have seen the first one, it's the only one I've seen.
The only one to watch.
It's the only one I need to see. He doesn't need to be the Crow anymore.
No.
He's gotten his revenge. He's at peace, if you will, and so I would think that he's ready to give up the mantle.
Exactly. So I would think if they do it, they need to do it to where every movie would be a new Crow, the new powers passed on. Maybe they somehow run into each other, which is there could be a connection like that. Like maybe Eric, bumps into this one cop or something who gets hurt later or dies later or whatever, and they get the power. But maybe just like a little, like you don't even know, it's just a throwaway. And it's like, hey, in the next film, this guy happens to be in it, but never announced that he's the Crow until the film's shot and recorded. It's like, oh, he is the lead character. That one, and then the other film franchise I would like to see completely redone, Starship Troopers. I think it would be good.
That's not superhero. The question was superhero.
Have you seen Casper Von Dien? He's like a superhero.
I have seen that first movie. He's not a superhero. He's a soldier.
No. I just wanted to say Starship Troopers again. Try to plug him in somehow. Try to figure out how to make it.
Get that out of here.
I don't know. That's the only one that I know that would be superhero. Would be the Crow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it technically counts as a superhero, but I love The Rocketeer.
He's a superhero.
That movie that came out in like the early 90s, and it was a comic, and so I would be interested to see if they tried to update that, because that movie is very kind of cheeseball. You know, it's set in 1930s.
Wasn't gum what saved it? Like, isn't there gum on the rocket? That's what slows it down or something.
Yeah, because there's like a leak on it, and so they plug up the leak with gum at one point, and I mean they're fighting against Nazis and that kind of stuff. It's kind of the same time frame as Indiana Jones, where it's not like World War II hasn't officially broken out kind of thing, but it's and so that time frame, it's very much a rah America kind of vibe in that movie. So it'd be interesting to see if they kind of returned and did something a little bit, put a different spin on it instead of just kind of glossing it, because it's a very glossy movie. It's a very like there's the American hero and he's got his leather jacket, and there's the 1930s mobsters and gangsters and like my favorite part of the movie is actually where they find out that the guy that they've been working for is actually like a secret Nazi. And they're like, and the cops show up, and at first, it's like it's the cops and the mobsters, and they're against each other. And then they're like, well, we're 100% American, and so all of a sudden the cops and the mobsters are like fighting alongside one another, because it's like take down the Nazis. Yeah. And you're like, okay, like this is totally cheesy, but I kind of love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That'd be a good one to do.
I'd enjoy that.
America should have been like real Captain American-esque.
Well, and it's interesting because Joe Johnston, who directed the first Captain America, the first Avenger, directed The Rocketeer.
Really?
And you can really tell. Like, I actually recently rewatched The Rocketeer, maybe in the last 6 months or so, and there's stuff where it's like this is the ending of like the endings of those two movies are the same exact. Like there's like the newspaper cutouts and the swelling music and and it's like that moment before the flash forward to present time in Captain America: The First Avenger where it's like all the kids running in the street pretending to be Captain America. It's like the same exact thing in the Rocketeer. I'm like, oh, this you just remade that scene and made it Captain America.
30 years later, people forgot about it, right? Roughly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But it was good.
It was good. That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I don't know. Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers not a superhero.
They have a comic book. Does that count?
Flash Gordon. I wish they would remake Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. Yeah.
Flash. Savior of the universe. Nah. As long as they still use the Queen music,
I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, but I think that's... Yeah, those are good ones.
I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you have questions for us, drop them into this video. We also post a couple times usually throughout the week on our Facebook page, Official GYGO. So be on the lookout for there where you can drop questions and ask us so that we can answer your questions here. And they can be, about anything geeky that you want to talk about. So it could be superhero stuff, X-Men stuff. It could be just gaming stuff, movies, whatever you want to talk about. We want to have this interaction with you guys. So drop your questions down below and we will answer them on here. But I think that will wrap it up.
Thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate all of you here. And again, don't take everything too serious sometimes. This is the time where you need to relax, and I hope you all did and enjoyed everything we do. Remember, like Robert said, comment below if you have any questions, like our page, subscribe to us on youtube.com/officialgygo, or anywhere you can just type in official GYGO and you'll find us. We are on all platforms for podcasts: Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, and Apple iTunes. Everything out there. You want to try to find us, you will. So on that note, guys, stay geeky, always have fun, and have a good one.
Bye.